What has to be back? We can text them. Um, Hello, everyone. Apologies about that. If you can hear us, please say hello. There was an issue with Facebook. We were still live on YouTube, but we're back now to the full broadcast. Apologies to everyone watching who feels disturbed by this recent event. If you can see us, please say hello. If you hear us, if we're loud, if we're clear, please say hello as well. Are we loud? Are we clear? There was a Facebook glitch that we saw there. Thank you very much for tuning. Yeah. People, the international audience is building. Yeah, thank you all, guys. Yes, thank you. I think they can see us now. JC, it's nice to see you on the show tonight. All right, good. So apologies about that. There was a glitch between our service provider and Facebook, but we're back now. Uh, we're clear now. So we're waiting for our guests to return to the studio. You'll soon be here. If you're just joining the show tonight, I am Iba Eledumare, ably supported by Ebuka Ilo and Babadi of 3 Hours Boreholes. Tonight, the show is Iba Live, and we're discussing the Ikoyi building collapse. The Ikoyi collapse, and that's what we're talking about tonight. What caused that? What are the remote causes? What do we know and what do we not know? Apologies about the break. Apologies about the break in transmission to everyone watching tonight and to our guest, Daddy Oshibote. We're going to get into the show now. Remember to share this and invite your friends to be part of the broadcast tonight as well. Okay, so we need to see his face and let his face show so we can see that. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so back to the stream. Good. All right, thank you all. Once again, we apologize about that. It wasn't us. Yeah, it wasn't us, but we take responsibility for it because it's our show. Apologies about that. Okay, the Ikoyi building collapse. Okay, my sister is watching the show tonight as well. Nice to see you, Maya. Nice to see everybody. JC, let's talk after this show. Dokisu to Beji, thank you guys for being here. Josephine, thank you for your consistency. Before we get into the show tonight, we've been sponsored by 3 companies, and we want to show appreciation to the companies who are the new sponsors of Iba Live. We thank Josephine Wares, for sponsoring Iba Live tonight. They make baseball clothing, beautiful accessories, lovely designs. Josephine Wares, it's Josephine's Wares actually. Josephine's Wares, thank you for always supporting the show tonight. That's her number there. It's almost Christmas time, and it's time for you guys to call a specialist fashion designer to get you your beautiful clothing. Our sponsor tonight, Josephine's Wares. We thank you for being part of the show as well. Thank you for thinking it worthy of the sponsor, or thinking us worthy of the sponsorship. We really appreciate that. So once again, guys, Josephine's Wares is who to call for beautiful dresses. If you go to her wall and to her page, you will find a lot there. I've seen some of her pieces. I saw one when she was in one car one day. It was really nice. It was really lovely. I think you guys should, call her after the show, take down her number, patronize her, and that's what. If you love Iba Live, you should love Justin's Wares. Thank you, guys. Yeah. So the next sponsor tonight is Fab MG Cosmetics. Fab MG Cosmetics. That's her number there. Those of you who know her. Her name is Morenike Aguda. That's her name. Thank you, Morenike, for being part of the show and for putting in your dollars, your small dollars into the show tonight. Thank you for being part of the show tonight. Her number is there on the screen. The number is 08096987876. She makes What's that thing called? Shea bars, shea but what? Luxury skincare, lovely stuff, fantastic stuff. I use it. That's why my skin glows all the time. She's a shea butter specialist, and that's what she does. So you can call her for your orders, for your weddings, your events. She does very good stuff. I don't get involved with anything that isn't good anyway, so she's got no choice really. But you can trust that whatever she does is fantastic, whatever she does is nice. So for supporting the show tonight, uh, we want to say thank you for throwing in some dollars to the show tonight, Morenike Aguda. I'm not sure she's watching the show, but those of you that know how you can reach her, tell her to watch it live, and I will send a big thank you to her for sponsoring the show tonight. Thank you, Fab MG, for that. And of course, our third sponsors, three sponsors of Iba Live tonight. It's been wonderful. Maze Chews. Maze Chews. Thank you for supporting the show. This is a very interesting one. They make beautiful, beautiful, natural, healthy meals and drinks and what have you. I've patronized Mace Chews a few times, and it's just been wonderful. They have raw, organic, healthy drinks, healthy food, a lot of stuff. Iba Live is grateful tonight to Mary Tule Dogun for being part of those of you who are supporting Iba Live. So if you have money and you're keeping it in your pocket and you're not throwing it in the right place, we're not going to give you the exposure that you need. Thank you, Miss Jules. Thank you, Fab MG. Thank you, Josephine Wes, for being part of the show and for supporting us tonight. Thank you, everyone. All right. So we've paid our dues. The people who are sponsoring Iba Live tonight, we've given them the respect. It's time to bring on onto the show tonight Tajuddin Daddy Oshibota. You have to explain to us which is your name. Whether it's Daddy, we should call you, or whether it's Tajuddin, we should call you. You have to tell us that tonight. Welcome to the show tonight, my brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Nice. I haven't seen you in about 10 years of my life.
Oh, yes. That's true. How's been everything?
Welcome. Very fine, thank you. Welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you for the honor.
It's nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
The topic is quite intriguing.
Yeah. Go on.
The topic is quite intriguing. The Ikeja building collapse.
Yeah, the Ikoyi.
See, the issues are very clear here. Am I on?
Yes, you're on. We can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The issues are very clear. You see, the eyes are useless when the mind is the fundamentals. When the safety of buildings in the state are at a disagreement, that tells you that we're in a big shit in this country. If the deputy governor and the general manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agency can be at dispute, serious conflicting reports. I mean, I had a diploma in quantity surveying. Okay. I had a diploma in quantity surveying. I know that if you want to approve you are approving a building. What are you approving if you cannot even ascertain the levels of a high-rise building? That shouldn't be in dispute. That should never be in dispute. The fact that that is an issue that is in dispute already tells us that there are things that have been hidden, because that shouldn't be so. When we talk about how do we now approach regulatory issues, honestly, we are jumping the gun. Honestly, yes. In fact, in sane environment, the investigative panel instituted will not be accepted without the governor and the GM making a clarification. That that is not the work for the panel to do.
Somebody has to be liable.
Yes, you don't need a panel.
Responsible.
You don't need a panel to tell us the story, the level that was approved. You don't need a panel for that. This thing was approved. So you see, the fact that shouldn't be the work of the panel. We must get things right. And so it is easy to talk about negligence, criminal negligence of those that should supervise. It's easy to talk about those boys that they throw outside to embarrass people, collect money.
Yeah.
Those are just reflective of greater problems. As I say, we must interrogate the conflict between the deputy governor and the sacked general manager of the bidding agency. For me, that is the start point.
All right.
Because
hold that thought. We already have comments coming in on the show. We already have comments. Coming in on this. But we need to see your face. You need to push your camera down a little bit more. People want to see Daddy Oshibo there. Fantastic. That's a whole lot better. Yes. Okay. That's better. Yes. People want to see your face. I can see requests from all over the world. He's a married man, so to all the beautiful ladies who want to see him, please note that he's not available. So they need to see your face. It's a little bit better. It can be better than this. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's that's slightly better. Thank you very much. Sorry that I interrupted you. So, from your point of view, you think we are jumping the gun by, so you do not even think that we are dealing with the issue fundamentally. We're not drilling down to what the issues are. So what are those issues we're supposed to be talking about or dealing with that we're not dealing with? What are they in clear terms?
In clear terms, number one, dysfunctional offices. We have dysfunctional offices. And where you have dysfunctional offices, you cannot expect anything functional from such offices. Because the underlying reasons for the existence of those offices from the onset. See, when things are done from the commercial angle, purely from the commercial angle, you miss it. The way the building, Lagos State Building Control Agency officers go back.
Some slight delay there. Let's hope you're not using 9 mobile. Yeah. Go ahead, please. We can hear you, Daddy. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Now, do they have the tools? Do they have the tools to work? They don't have. The concrete testing, the name of the consultant that withdrew from that project, the first consultant that was given the project that we withdrew, said he withdrew because he could not ascertain the strength of concrete used. Integrity. He could ascertain the strength of concrete used. The building, the Lagos State Building Agency that we are going to inspect the building, how were they testing the concrete? So you see a lot of losses. The agency, they are established to make money for the government. That is the truth of the matter. It is the truth of the matter, except we are deceiving ourselves. They do not do anything. They don't do anything. The value they add to the construction industry is close to zero. They are a nuisance, honestly.
So let me ask you. So hold that thought. Let me ask you this. Buildings have always collapsed in Lagos. They always this incident is not far removed from it. It always happens at Lagos Island.
Yes.
It happens around,
Yes,
so it's very
synagogue.
So after each unfortunate event, what we find is that we just go back to bed, we go to sleep after 3 months. What should we, the people, be doing differently now? So every time we always want to point our fingers, of course, our leadership, and of course, regulation and regulatory and compliance issues, of course, border on leadership and what have you. But what should we as a people be doing, for instance, now? What should we? We're getting some facts coming in. We haven't verified the facts. It's coming from a certain Otumba, who former Surface Dogun. His facts need to be checked over and over and over and over again. But maybe the point he raises tonight is true. He says that 152 buildings collapsed in Lagos, have collapsed in Lagos since 2005. So the point is, this can continue to happen. Why do we every time leave the whole thing for the agency, for government? What should we be doing as a people? Should we not? Why are we always demonstrating, for instance, for political reasons? Why do we only have collective action for politics, for social political issues? Why can't we, for instance, take collective action on a matter like this? If it's politics now, people will be riled up, they want to do stuff, but this is regulatory, this is compliance based, And so what should we be doing as a people? What should we be doing? We can't keep complaining all the time. We can't keep saying it's the leadership. We can't keep saying it's the governor. What is Oshibote not doing? What's Wale Aguda not doing? What's Ebuka not doing? What are we supposed to be doing that we're not doing?
Yeah, thank you. See, there is a limit to what individuals can do. A clear limit to what individuals can do. See, one of the roles of government is regulatory. It is a role of government. And so if the government abdicates, there is little or nothing the people can do. Because the people lack the wherewithal, the resources. Okay. The importation of iron rods, the storage of iron rods, the rods that is used in construction industry, they are exposed. Go to where they are sold, they are exposed to the weather. And so even before usage, they are getting weakened. So you cannot, yes, the government must wake up to it, but they can't wake up to their responsibility because they are part and parcel of this problem. Let us get this thing right. You see, when the people rely on the creators of their problems to be the solutions, they will wait almost forever. Because the people they are relying on to provide solutions are beneficiaries of the problem they are facing. So how on earth do you want them to resolve it? They can't resolve it. But it pays for what you have to continue. It pays for the rubbish to continue. And so it is. Yes, at times we say the people are docile, but it is the government. And so they also encourage it in a way.
Wow, that's a good point there. That's a very good point there. And yeah, go ahead, please.
So we talked about the criminal negligence and what happens thereafter.
Yeah.
What happens thereafter? After these incidences, the report of Mr. Dogun of 205 houses collapsing in Lagos. I won't dispute that. I won't dispute that. I won't dispute that. And so what happens each time we have this? What follows? Big cover-up. In fact, in this particular case, cover-up started the day of the occurrence. That is the sad aspect. This particular case, the cover itself started that very day. So I see this is the issue. It is annoying because the papers, the approval papers are in that office. The approval papers are there. And so it's a very simple thing.
Sergeant Oshibote, thank you for being on the show. Yes. You are still on the show. I need to bring a point up to you. There's a point that someone who is watching you made. So I'm going to read out that point because it's a bit related to what we're talking about. So that point is from JC Yusufu, one of the best graphics designers in the world. All right, JC says this. I'm going to read what is coming out to you, and so that people who are not watching can also read from JC's thoughts. He says, it's a systemic failure in our institutions. Apart from the lapses from the government side, construction materials are not standardized in Nigeria. 10 mm rod is usually sold as 9.6 mm in the market. Cement grade is not up to the standard. Who is checking the quality of construction materials sold in the market? Now, I want to split this beautiful point from JC into two. You're talking about the second part of his point, is asking a question about regulation. Who is checking? But the question is, why are we selling? Why? It's not government that is selling to government. We are the ones who are selling these substandard materials. We are the ones working in Dangote, in what have you, the other company at Ikoyi, Lafarge. We are still the people. So, in a way, you would realize that it's almost like a circle, like a rat race. Where do you go? Why are we are the ones who suffer it at the end of the day. We're not government. But when we ourselves also contributed, what do you have to say to people who import fake materials into the country? The traders, the middlemen. What do you have to say to them?
Yeah, thank you. You see, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, is saddled with responsibilities of ensuring the standard of materials, building materials into the country. They have their offices in all the entry points. Excusing the people. No, we are not excusing the people. It is that the government and its agencies must live to their responsibilities.
Okay.
Now, the individuals, it just talks about our values. It's our businessmen that are after money, they don't care. It is the authorities, the agencies, these things, they are not sold in the black market. The iron rods are not sold in the black markets. The cements are not sold in the black market. We know where these things are sold. People patronize them. So it goes back to the government. You always go back to the fact that these people, they are known. You go to where they sell building materials, you see them. What does it cost? What will it cost the SON to go with police to the market and make arrest? It's easy when the will is there, it is easy to enforce. The will is not there, the government is not going to take action. Those are the issues we have. Look at during the time of the late Professor Dora Ikoyi, what she did in NAFDAC.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that because she did a great job. Professor Dora Ikoyi did a great job at NAFDAC those years. I mean, so what happened to NAFDAC after Ikoyi? That's what I keep asking. We can't hear Daddy Oshibode right now. So I'll quickly take your comments while we wait for him to get back, to get his audio back. Daddy Oshibode, are you back to the studio?
Yeah, I'm back.
So we're talking about the fact that there's no sustainability in even government policy. So you have policies, but they're not sustainable. Nobody's following up on the policies. Nobody's evaluating those policies to see if those policies, are sustainable. Nobody's implementing policy. Nobody's evaluating. Nobody's re-evaluating those policies. And it's a very disturbing development that in this country, these events keep happening one after the other. We're getting a different perspective on the show tonight. We're bringing in a quantity surveyor who himself will be adding his voice to that of Daddy Oshibode tonight. It's Iba Live is international. We're global now. We have people across the whole world joining the show. We have people watching from everywhere, and so we have one person tonight who's also joining you, Tajudeen Oshibode. I mean, Daddy Oshibode, someone is joining you tonight, and I'm hoping that both of you can also deal with the issues. After 5 minutes of the new guest who's joining you, we'll go on a short break again to talk about our sponsors while we invite to the show tonight, Mr. Tunde Mo Aguda. Timo, welcome.
Hi
to the
guys,
show
hi
tonight,
guys.
Tunde.
Interesting topic, and
Welcome.
heads up. So the matter at hand is very complex, but people do not know how complex it is, right? Because, like I did 5 years of quantity survey. I studied quantity survey. So and the little of construction technology that I remember, costing and maintenance. There are so many issues at hand that the present day Nigeria is not addressing. And that is the fact that when I studied quantity survey, I graduated 20 years ago from Yaba Tech, College of Technology, HND, in quantity survey. And the little I remember, so because I'm saying this with all humility, I don't practice quantity surveying. I've never practiced quantity surveying in my life. But I know I had 5 intensive years of studying quantity surveying in Yaba Tech. And the little I know is that the present day constructions I see going on, the present day, what do you call it? Was the word I'm looking for, the right word? The approach I see today is the fact that the right people are not enabled to do the right things in the industry. And when you see a project like a 21-story building, and you see the level of people that are working there without safety helmets, without the proper gear. A project like that, you assume that, oh, this is totally supposed to be a civil engineer. This is, in fact, a civil engineering project. But when you see people that are handling this project, building it as if they're working on a residential project, then you begin to fear. So let me tell you something interesting. In 2019, I used to drive. I had a project I was doing in Banana Island. This is an IT project anyway. So I don't practice quantity survey. And I used to drive through Gerard Road. I always noticed that building. And I was always trying to count the number of floors on that building. Now, I now realized that it was probably the most stupid thing for me to do, driving and counting those stories. So I now stopped doing that because I was always getting lost, I think 16 floor or something floor. So I now decided that, okay, I'll be counting it whenever I'm in a Bolt or an Uber. And that was what I was doing. But I couldn't just understand the fact that a project of that magnitude did not have all the necessary civil engineering structures and machinery that I expected to see there. And what is even scary to me was the fact that the late founder and the late CEO was taking people on inspection tours to that place, to even to the highest floor, without even safety helmets. Who does that? Who does that? Don't forget that I do not have any. I'm not IT. I don't practice quantity surveying. I'm just saying from 1996 to 2001, I did 5 years. I dedicated 5 years of my life to studying quantity surveying in a harrowing place like Yaba College of Technology. So you expect people to know the right things and do the right thing, but we also have we're in between the devil and the deep blue sea, because this Lagos State Building Agency that's supposed to be taking care of these problems, that's supposed to be regulating, people have a mindset that once you see their car, van at your site, they want to extort you. So you don't even know when to say, oh, these guys are actually doing their job, and when these people are like, oh, they just want to be settled now. And I know all the people, I know people there that all these guys are big boys because they just settle them and go. They settle them and go. Once they mark X on your building, all the people you just settle them and
so corruption.
They move. You understand? So we have a very complex situation on our hands. Why? Because everybody is going into real estate, and you don't know who's a quack and who's a professional. I, as a person, I'm not a professional. I do not practice. The last thing I did in quantity survey was advanced measurement, November 2001. That was the last quantity survey thing I did. I wrote my final exam, which was
Mr.
advanced
T,
measurement.
if you say that thing again, I will fight you. Go ahead and continue.
No, it's a fact. What I'm saying is this: is that construction in Nigeria is just scary. It is scary. Do you remember the last building that collapsed? What did people say? Oh, there was going to be an investigative inquiry panel, blah, 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 blah. Another one has collapsed. And that's how the cycle will keep on going. It's really scary because the fact is this, is that you just ask yourself that, what is the value of the human life? What is the value of the Nigerian life? If people just, and unfortunately now, it's hitting home because it is now affecting the elite. The CEO was consumed now. His friend that was supposed to catch a flight to the US that night was consumed. So I think people will now begin to see that these are not mundane issues that we should take lightly.
All right. Timo. Now, I'm going to be playing devil's advocate here. Dr. Shibote, you're going to take the first shot at this question that I'm about to ask.
All right.
Today will give. He'll follow through after you try to respond to this. Why are we assuming, without evidence, that it was a structural or a design or an execution flaw? There's been no investigation that we know yet. The rubble is still there, and evacuations are still ongoing, no matter how shoddy or whatever it is. But they're still trying to bring out people from under the rubble. So the question is, there's no investigation. What we know for certain, what we know as a fact tonight, is that there was a building collapse in Ikoyi. We, however, do not have facts yet regarding the cause of that incident. So why are we? So the first question would be, why are we without evidence already certain that there were breaches perhaps in professional procedures? Number two, why are we easily ruling out what I want to call extraneous factors? Why are we easily ruling out other possibilities that could have led to that unfortunate incident outside of these general ones of non-compliance, which we are all pointing at? So a man has an approval for 15 floors, he builds 21 floors. Did he get an approval for 21 floors? We don't know that. Questions have been asked. There's been counter facts being shared by different parties. But the question is, why are we so certain that that building collapsed due to compliance issues or failure to subscribe to the rules of construction, as it were? Daddy Oshibote, you have the floor.
Yeah.
Timo, 2 minutes each, because we need to pay our bills.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We know more than you said we know. I repeat, we know more than you said we know. Yes, the building collapsed. Yes, that we know. We also know that the deputy governor and the general manager of the agency that is to controls building, they are disagreement. We also know that. Second, that's two. Thirdly, we know that the structural engineer that was initially contracted to supervise that building withdrew. And if a professional leaves a project, it is expected of the agency to probe why he left. And so you begin to see why I am not jumping to the fact that there are structural defects. All this already tells me, I told you I had a diploma in quantity surveying. I did a little bit of construction and management and all that.
Yeah.
These are pointers to the fact that there is something wrong. Why, in the first instance, why was the building sealed? In the first instance. So what changed? And the building was reopened. The site was reopened for work. So these are all indicative of the fact that, this is not just, this is, I read the withdrawal letter of is it First Call? I read it.
Yeah.
It was the man was so clear. He was so clear that he said he could only guarantee up to, is it the fourth floor or so?
Yeah.
It was so clear. If a structural engineer writes documents that they can only guarantee a project to fourth floor, what are we saying, Iba?
Thank you very much.
My case there.
Thank you very much. We have just about 15 minutes to the end of the show.
Okay,
And
so
about 5 minutes more with our guests. Today, Mo, you have the floor.
okay, so I'm not going to argue what he has said. He has said it all. I just saw that withdrawal letter and I watched an interview. I watched the late Force Call boss interview. And initially, the time I watched that interview, I was about to write an article about Force Call's Tower of Babel, right? But out of respect that, because there was soon after that they said they had found his body and I retrieved his body. I just said, okay, no, this isn't an article you should write. First of all, I don't play in the quantity surveying space, so I think people challenge me for the fact that okay, I'm being emotional about this. I'm taking sides. But the truth about it is that just the mere withdrawal of the structural engineer says a lot. Says a lot. Do you understand? Then
Yes.
secondly, I watched the late Force Call boss interviews, and I noticed something about him. He was very, very proud of his achievements. I don't have a problem with that. But the truth about it is that he said something which it hit me in the belly. And that was like, oh, the so-called professionals. There was a controversial statement he made about the professionals being academicians, being book, and they don't know there's a difference between being an academic and also knowing the practical side of construction. And I'm like, okay, since you feel the academics are not worth it, and I know he was probably throwing shots at the structural engineer that withdrew, maybe. But the truth about it is that sadly, this has happened. We do not have the entire facts. And I do not lay claim to the entire facts. But the fact that there's a withdrawal letter sends a lot. Says everything. Everything that needs to be said has been said without.
Oh, yes.
I rest my case.
Thank you very much. I think that is a lovely place to put it tonight. So you both have one question each to answer before the end of the show. But we need to pay our bills first. And so once again, we want to say a big thank you to the sponsors of IBA Live tonight, specifically starting from Josephine's Wares. If my producer is there, Josephine's Wares is one of the key sponsors of IBA Live tonight. And we want to say a big thank you to Josephine's Wares for being a part of the show, for supporting the show, and for showing solidarity so that the IBA Live show will not collapse. I think my producer is a bit hungry because he has been unable to display what he was supposed to display. Yeah, okay. I think my producer has eaten. Thank you, producer. I hope you don't get too tired. I know it's running late, but Josephine Wares, that's her number there. Please pen her number down. Get her number down. And for your Christmas clothing, for your kids, for your family members, she does great stuff. I'm the one doing this endorsement, and I think she's fabulous. Please take that number and deal with that. Thank you very much. The second sponsor of the show tonight, Fab MG Skincare Products. Thank you, Fab MG. The guys at Fab MG for the wonderful support that we got from you guys for the show tonight. The number is there. Place your orders for special shea butter, what you call Ori. Now, that's an Ori specialist you have there. So that's Morenike Aguda there, being part of the sponsors of the show tonight. That's her company doing that, and we say a big thank you to Fab MG Skincare Luxury Products for being part of the show and supporting us tonight. And of course, our third sponsor tonight, Maize Chills. Maize Chills, they make raw, organic, healthy food. They're not expensive, they're not so expensive. Good food, good drinks, great stuff from Maize Chills. That's her number there, 08036815517, 08036815517 for your events and what have you. Maize Chills is what you need. Thank you guys for being part of this sponsorship train. If you have your money and you're keeping it in Detroit, you're on your own. All right, guys. Okay, so back to the show. It seems like I touched a nerve. Yeah, thank you, producer. It seems like I touched a nerve tonight. If you have money and you're keeping it in America, you're making money from video clocks, making money from white walker clocks, making money from invites, and then you're not putting money where you should put money.
Invite will definitely start sponsoring the program. I
haven't called anybody's name. I'm just saying, if you own invite.app and you're not putting your money in the life, what's going on? Before I let you go tonight, Sunday, you're somebody who travels. What exactly do you see that is different when you travel versus what you see locally?
Okay, so I'll give. Okay, so what I'll say is this: I'm going to talk from three perspectives. I'm going to talk from Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and America. And honestly speaking, this is a painful truth. The painful truth is this: is that the governance has failed the people. Do you understand? When governance fails the people, people do not care, do not give an absolute care about the state, the country, and everything. So you still have a negative. You understand? When you have people that see, I use the half glass empty, half glass full theory to explain how countries should be. And when you see over 90% of people or 99% of people seeing a half glass of water empty, then there's a problem. Right? You don't see that in Ghana. You do not see that in Kenya. You don't see that in South Africa. How much more in America? America is God's own country. America is a place that all you need to do is that just have that vision, have that tenacity, have that little grit, and the system will push you there to success. Do you understand? But Nigeria is opposite. When your whole president, I'm subbing him directly. When your whole president,
please don't let them ban my show. My show is just 8 weeks old.
Okay,
my show is just 10 weeks old. Don't let them ban me by live. Go ahead. They can ban me by live.
So to keep it in context, is that people the governance needs to make the people believe in them. When people believe in governance, the country will start working. Equity, fairness, and justice. End of story.
Thank you very much for that. It's a lovely way to put it tonight. Dario Shibote, this is a question that I have to put to you. I put at you, or however that goes. So, people have died. People died during the EndSARS protest. Over 40 people have died again now. And you were the one who talked about the value of human life with Tunde. So I usually joke with people, if then they price human lives across the world, maybe Nigeria life, you can buy it at the dollar store, Dollar Tree.
Less than at the dollar store.
You can dollar store to buy a Nigerian life. I usually joke about that to my friends. I'm like, you know when you want to shop, you can go to Tejo Market, you can go to ShopRite, you can go to Silverbird. You can in Nigeria, you can go to the expensive places and what have you. And I keep saying the average Nigerian life, when it's time to shop for the average Nigerian life, what really is the value? Now, for the over 40 people who have died already, what do you think is a worthy memorial for these people that are Shibote? What can be done by the living to at least not necessarily recognize the dead, but to sort of respect that they are victims of what they knew nothing about? They went into a building, they didn't have a hand, they were probably just looking for a job, and they are there working. By the way, I wonder how people were climbing those high floors up. Is there a walking elevator there? Or do they climb the steps to go that high up? So I'm trying to understand that. In any case, what do you have to say? Families are bereaved. What is worth doing for these people now? That Yoshibote, you have the floor.
The first thing really, the very first thing I would think should be done is the deputy governor and the general manager of the agency should clarify those differences. The differences in the accounts insults the people. In fact, if that is the beginning of it, just tells us that we are nothing before then. Because if not, that shouldn't be an issue that they should bury their heads in shame. It shouldn't come out. that the first thing is to, first of all, let us get that clarified so that we know where the blame is. And then those that are fingered should be punished. They should be punished. And of course, the victims, the families should be compensated. Something should go to the family from the government. Insurance, this also throws up the issue of insurance. Insurance, we don't do insurance. That a project of that size, who would believe that there's no workman insurance there? No insurance there? Then someone should pay for it also. There are agencies that goes about getting these things. In fact, the corruption in Nigeria is, in fact, you can't even get a loan from the bank in that kind of project without insurance documents. You see how corruption is in this country. That project, you cannot get finance from any, you can't get document without insurance documents. So they are forged papers. That tells you why they will always, these things, they will not, nothing is going to come out because they will not hurt themselves. And that is sad truth. They will not hurt themselves.
I don't know. It's a subject we really cannot exhaust in one Iba Live show. It's a sad and unfortunate but avoidable incident. So tonight,
yes,
I want to say a very big thank you to Daddy Oshibode for coming on the show tonight, and for
Thank you, Chief,
for joining, and for short notice to you, Daddy Oshibode, but you made it. Tunde Mo, short notice, yet you made it. I know you're a very reliable person. Daddy Oshibode is a super person. By the way, Daddy Oshibode, thank you for the water you gave me during my interview at Vitafoam. When I went to join Vitafoam, you were the one who went to get. You helped me. You were like, you went to get me water and say, "Oh yeah, drink," because they were firing me too.
Yeah, we needed competent people now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
The studio hands are clapping for you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Good night, everyone.
Bye
It's
bye.
been wonderful to be
Bye.
live tonight. Let's do this again next Wednesday.
Bye.
Thank you guys
All right.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Love to everyone.
Bye.
See you some other time. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so very much for being part of
Thank
this
you.
show. And to every one of you who have been part of this show tonight. The issues have been discussed. It's been unfortunate that lives have been lost. Let's just hope, that this doesn't happen again. We pray for the souls of the departed, of the deceased, and our prayer, of course, is that their families will be comforted as well. I don't know. Thank you guys for participating tonight. Iba Live is coming back again next week, Wednesday. Thank you for always making this work. A big thank you and appreciation to Mr. Booker T. Booker T, thank you for always doing a great job there. For Babadi and to everyone watching tonight, thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for being part of this. We are out because it's 9 p.m. and we got to go. Thank you all for being part of the show. Love you all. Anix.